Hey everybody, Pastor Jan here. I'm recording this really early in the morning. It is cold. I'm out on one of my morning walks. The sun is just starting to come up over the horizon over here. Hopefully you can see that. But I want to tell you all about a book I read recently that has got the wheels turning in my head and has brought up a really exciting possibility for a new book study here at church in the spring. It's a book called Deep Roots, Wild Branches by Michael Beck. I'll tell you a little bit about it, but first, I want to paint a picture for you all. I want you to imagine a tree planted in a lush, rich forest. We'll assume it's springtime. These trees don't look too good. They're kind of, it's winter. They're kind of hibernating. Imagine a tree that grows up in this rich forest. There's a lot of green. The soil is really nourishing, gives all the nutrients the trees need. There's a lot of other trees that look like this tree around in the forest. So it grows up big and strong. But now I want you to imagine, fast forward a few generations, and now the terrain has changed. There's been some deforestation, some erosion. The soil is not as rich as it once was. Perfect timing for a gas-guzzling truck to drive by me. But things are maybe not looking so good for this tree. A lot of its fellow trees have died. This tree's still chugging along, but it's not growing like it used to. It's not quite as healthy as it used to be. It needs some folks to come in and care for this tree and nurture it and help it adapt to a new terrain. Maybe graft in some new branches, prune it, and help this tree adapt, because the forest it grew up in just isn't there anymore. This is, of course, a metaphor for the church. If we think about the church, a lot of churches we know, a lot of churches we've been a part of, a lot of churches we've seen, really came of age. They had their glory days back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe the 80s, right? That post-war boom, the baby boom years. What was society like back then? Well, you had an exploding, growing middle class. You had suburbs that were booming. You had a lot of young families, a lot of kids, a lot of people with spare time, spare resources to get engaged, contribute to their community. And there was a general sense that if you were a good, productive member of society, you went to church. That's just what people did. That was the context. That was the forest, the rich green forest in which a lot of today's churches were planted and really exploded and grew and had kind of the good old days. But the culture has shifted enormously. The middle class is hanging on by a thread. People are delaying starting families, buying houses, settling down. Suburbs are struggling. When we do encounter, young families, oftentimes both parents work, if there are both parents, and they usually have to work weekends. So this rich, luscious green forest in which a lot of our churches were planted and started and really grew and came into health just don't exist anymore. Our churches are kind of like trees in a desert because the climate has shifted. This book, Deep Roots, Wild Branches, is talking about that kind of stuff. It's for churches that find themselves in that situation. And I really love this book because the author, Michael Beck, he does a really good job of diagnosing kind of the problem, what's going on, but also forecasting ahead and talking about ways to innovate, to graft on some new ideas, some new branches to help move the church forward. And so here's the thing. What I want to do in the spring, this spring, April and May, coming up pretty soon, we are planning to put together an 8 or 9 week study. I want to invite everyone who's listening to this right now, whether you're a longtime church member, a little bit newer, maybe a friend of the church, but if you are someone who our church, you love our church, you're in this area, you're invested in our community, and you want to see Brockport First Baptist serve our community well, I want to get together with you and read through this book. So if you look under this video, there should be a link where you can click and let us know if you're interested in this study. Again, it's going to be in the spring. It's going to be 8 or 9 weeks, and we're just signing people up for it now. We don't know what day and time it's going to be. I kind of want to cast a net, see who all is interested. But if you want to be involved in this dialogue, if you want to be part of the conversation, and if you get excited about thinking about future possibilities of where the church in our world could go, this is a group that I really want you in. These are conversations I want you to be a part of. So check out the link below. There's also a link where you can check out the book, take a look at it, see if it interests you, and be sure to let us know if you want to be part of this. Thanks all for watching. Hope you have a great day. Grace and peace.